as quick as we can, I would love to talk about. I would love for you guys to talk about your feelings on The Matrix Resurrections,
Let's do it.
because I'm a big stan for all of the original four movies. I don't think Revolutions is good. It's really more of a personal thing. It's fine,
Is
but I
Revolutions 2
That's
or
the third
3?
one.
that's the third
Okay.
one. I think Reloaded is fucking rad. I think the Animatrix is fucking rad. And I think the original Matrix is in my top probably 3 films of all time. And I gotta say, The Matrix Resurrections was my most disappointing movie of the year. So I'd love to hear what your guys' take on it was.
Um, so as someone that's a bit more, I don't know how much of a big fan you are, Matt, in comparison to me. Like I'm just like I'm very casual. Like I watched this is like I watched the Matrix for the second time right before I saw Resurrection. So like I didn't really grow up with the Matrix. The Matrix was I look at Matrix and I'm like you're kind of weird. And I never got
Yeah.
around to it. Like I watched for the first time a couple years ago and was like I see what they're doing. It's cool. You know, it's not like, I think a lot of like the ideas and themes of like, um who you are as a person and virtual reality and being trapped within yourself is pretty interesting in terms of themes and a kind of a action blockbuster. And then, for the first time I watched Reloaded and Revolutions right before Resurrections and
Extremely
Reloaded.
inaccessible films.
Yeah.
Uh,
Reloaded for me was uh I don't know. I was kind of like indifferent to Reloaded. Like the action's fun, but I felt like there wasn't really anything like the Keymaster was kind of interesting of like backdoor kind of hacking into the Matrix or getting around the Matrix. Um and the architect and whatnot. And I love the Mr. Smith like fight scene in the courtyard. Like that whole sequence is insane and over the top, and I love it. Um, uh, I had a friend explain to me how the werewolves work in this. So I was like, "What the fuck are these vampires and werewolves?"
Yeah,
So
they're like rampant programs from the beginning of the Matrix, basically.
yeah, so I had a friend explain that one to me, and I was like, "All right, well, if there's kung fu. I can take in vampires as well." So Reloaded was like I was indifferent to it for the most part, just because I felt like it was weird because I felt like there wasn't really anything at stake other than like if Trinity lives or not in this world. And then Revolutions was bad.
That's
Um,
fair.
I think it's ridiculous. I don't like that. Like there's these giant machines that we have where they have giant fucking machine guns for arms and it's almost as ridiculous as what's happening in the Matrix. And then
Wait, you think just the fact that they have mech suits outside the Matrix was ridiculous?
yeah, I thought they have in mech suits and them fighting like the robots like that was a little like too much for me.
Hmm.
Like in comparison to what's in the Matrix, I felt like we were like back in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like like I just
I
felt
get you.
like
I hear you. I
yeah,
get you,
yeah,
Enrique.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like of course like I didn't really understand like the ending. Like I was like, okay, so are the machines and the humans Gucci now because they got rid of the Smith program? I don't understand.
Yeah,
And I
that's correct.
I was like, whatever. This
Yeah.
franchise is kind of over my head. So then when we get to Resurrections, what I loved a lot about Resurrections was kind of the psychoanalytical meta uh discussion it was having with itself at the beginning of the film
Yeah.
about like Warner Brothers is greenlighting a thing and yeah we're greenlighting another Matrix and whatnot and then kind of like dissecting what the Matrix is and whatnot. I would have loved to have like that be the whole movie. Like
The
that would have
first
been
the first 20 minutes of that movie fucking rips.
yeah, it's so
But
fucking good and like I love that and Well, I'll stop rambling here in a second, but like pretty much like my whole feelings on Resurrections is I think the beginning is really stellar. The rest it feels very much so like, you know, continuing from the Matrix films, tying up a loose end, reuniting these two characters, and kind of doing and kind of taking the franchise back from its fans and just kind of making it and having Lana take like embrace these characters for themselves um and kind of redefining what the Matrix is and the kind of the dangers that people I think not the dangers but maybe the wrong ideas that people have taken from the Matrix, especially with the red and blue pill and like the Matrix
Oh, yeah.
overall. So like it's a grander discussion than just that, but that's just kind of like my
Yeah.
initial feelings with it. So
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't have much to say, but just in general, I totally agree on the first act in particular of what was being analyzed and said, and in regard to the the history and the legacy of the Matrix. I really loved the idea of it, but I really found every single actor in this movie to give a very irritating performance, which is strange because I know.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
Really? Okay. I mean, well,
The
then
only
so
thing I don't like about this movie is the robot dolphin thing. That's it.
oh
That's
right.
the only
Okay.
fucking thing. That's the
Wow.
only thing that
That's
was too much
amazing.
for me. I want to bathe in this movie.
That's
I
amazing.
fucking loved it.
Hmm.
And obviously the Matrix, the original Matrix is like a phenomenal film. I rewatched 2 and 3 prior to seeing this one. I think they're okay. I think they're both okay. I like 2 more than 3,
Oh yeah.
and I like 4 better than both of them because it
Whoa.
fucks.
Oh man, I don't feel that way at all.
Jonathan
think-
Groff can kick me into a bathroom door anytime.
And I think you know she purposely like you know made something that like that was more made out of obligation, but
Yes.
it's again it's like the whole Evangelion discussion where it's like if you have
Yeah.
context, like you know she had just lost her mom and dad, and
Yes.
she wanted to bring back to life these two characters and have them live on, and
Mhm.
you know that was the way that she coped with you know dealing or healed from that grief that she was going through, was bringing back these two characters and whatnot. And I think you know her doing a cover song of the film's original ending,
Yeah.
but kind of a shitty version of it, and and having that play at the end, I think is very telling. Like, you know, the movie, you know, like, and that's the whole thing. Is like the Matrix is always like a cover of a cover of a cover of what
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
true.
So
Uh,
like,
Oh, go ahead.
and you know, Neil Patrick Harris refers to the machines as the suits, which is, you know, a traditional term for business, you know, the suits, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like it's of course, you know, another jab at Warner Brothers. You know, Warner Brothers doesn't give a fuck as long as there's another
No.
Matrix film made. So
That's
and
true.
and I think
Neil Patrick Harris in the first act of that movie is so fucking good.
I
Just-
think I like him
Really?
overall in the whole movie.
I like him overall too, but I think it was just such an exciting new thing to see like Neil Patrick Harris doing like this restrained, caring performance, and
Yeah.
he's so effective in that first act. I think he's great in all of it. I have the opposite feeling to Nick. I think obviously Keanu's always got a vibe. Man, I've never really meshed with that vibe. But
And Bram Stoker's Dracula.
that's the horniest movie on the planet. I saw that movie for the first time this year.
Great English accent.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough all over from
that's right.
Keanu. But like, and obviously like, is it Carrie Ann Moss?
Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, I don't know. She's kind of batting at the same level that she was batting in all of them, which is fine. I love almost all of the new additions to this movie.
Jessica
Um,
Henwick as Bugs, which is
Yeah,
another Warner Brothers
pretty
reference.
good.
yeah, but Jessica Henwick is fucking great in this movie.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
great.
good.
Oh, and Yahya Abdul.
Yahya Abdul's
Especially his take
amazing.
on Morpheus is really fascinating to me.
Well, and it's such a fun thing because it's Morpheus mixed with an agent persona, is what they
Agent
say.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like what I like about it too is like it's almost a rebranding of Morpheus too, because it's like it's a more hip, it's a more like relevant, it's a more
Yeah.
it's like he's doing the same beats as like, he's programmed to kind of follow this remake of sorts, and
Yeah,
it's
and
fascinating.
even if he's only there because Hugo Weaving was not able to come out,
Oh, dude, yeah.
Jonathan Groff, just the idea of changing Smith into what the equivalent of that energy in our society would be today,
Yeah,
which is just like a shitty tech bro who's always calling you Tom even though he doesn't know you, and fucking oh, he's so good. I'm sorry. I know you don't agree, Nick, but he's so fucking good.
Well, see, well, the thing is, I completely agree with what you said about the concept of it, and every concept in this script of how they're changing and evolving the Matrix lore. I love the idea of it, but yeah, I don't know, and just a very strange outing for me. I can
I
see
think you should
how.
give it a rewatch.
Oh yeah, for
I'm gonna
sure.
put it out now. I've been doing this thing where when I don't like a movie that I really thought I was going to like, where I go in and I give the movie a second watch because I feel that knowing,
Expectations have been tampered.
yeah, now that
Oh,
I
yeah.
know what the movie
yeah.
is, I find that I enjoy it a lot more the
Yeah.
second time around. I'm scared to watch The Matrix 4 a second time because I think my heart would explode. But
No, I think you probably still love it because I.
no,
yeah,
what I'm saying is I love it so much now that if
Oh,
I
okay,
watched it
good.
again, I would fucking die.
Oh, okay, that's
If
amazing.
I liked it more, my heart would just pop.
Yeah,
I would even like that
interesting.
shitty robot dolphin. And that
Yeah,
thing's dumb as fuck.
So I'd say for me that my interpretation of how much I can enjoy this really hinges like 100% on how much do I believe and have faith that Lana is just trolling everyone as hard as possible, because the more she's trolling everyone, the more I would love this. And obviously there is definitely 100% in the first act a very big deal of like, no, this is not the Matrix you signed up for. This is my story. It's going to be what I want. And going against like the expectations of, or the desires of what Warner Bros would want, but it's like they're not going to stop her. They'll, like you guys brought up, the Warner Bros will just let her trash Warner Bros as long as they keep getting more money from these productions.
Yeah,
but
God, I wish they were gonna make more.
Yeah, I don't know, and so for the first act, I totally felt on board with that. But when it gets a lot more like exposition and plot moving and action heavy, I didn't feel that level of like self-awareness or satire or like I don't know, just.
But wouldn't you?
It.
I think I would argue, and look, I'm at the end of the day, I've resigned to the fact that I'm not gonna argue or fight with anybody who doesn't like this movie, because at the end of the day, it's a Wachowski movie, and they're buck wild, and they're always their most accessible movie is fucking Speed Racer. It's not like they're not for everybody. They're not going to be for everybody, even movie to movie, as people who like them.
Yeah.
And also, you got to take into effect too. It's like they've changed so much as well. I guess in particular, like just Lana in this case, like the style of the Matrix, like that was a passion project. They did what they did with it back then. It looks stylistically so different. They've evolved so much as filmmakers. Like it's gonna be it's so different. Like it's like look at it like with George Lucas too. Like he was so stylistically different than what he was when he made the original trilogy versus the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like it's I think it's just like there's growth there too, and I think like, you know, you got the Matrix trilogy, and then you have this epilogue, if you want to
Yeah.
say, you know, it's like you're
Yeah.
always gonna have that trilogy where it's like purely just the trilogy, and then you're gonna have this kind of self-analytical epilogue in a way.
Here's what I would say, Nick. I am on board, fully on board with Lana being like, fuck you, you don't get the Matrix movie that you want, you get what I make for you. But then part of that is her making the Matrix movie that she wants to make, which is
Yeah,
what the
absolutely.
second and third act of that movie are.
Yeah.
Like, it can't.
True.
I don't think there's any heart to it, or if it's just her being like, fuck you for wanting a fourth Matrix movie for the entire movie. Like, I think she needs to be like, I think her, not needs to be, but I think the thing is her being like, fuck you for wanting an identical fourth Matrix movie
yeah.
just to make money. I will take your money, but I am going to make the movie that I want to make, which is a
Yeah.
fucking corny Wachowski love story where
Mhm.
the bad guy's plot device is slow-mo, and at the end the characters fly into the sky holding hands for no fucking reason. It
Oh,
rocks.
yeah.
That movie
Oh
rocks.
yeah, dude. I mean, all of the lore and what they do with the fact that this is a new iteration of the Matrix and the last Matrix is just well, in this version is a video game. Like I really love that she I think by doing that she made the original trilogy feel so small and insignificant in a way that only she can, because it's her baby.
It's hers, yeah.
Yeah. And
But
so
also, like,
yeah.
sorry, there's just, like, we haven't talked about the fact that the third act of this movie is a car chase with people running
Yeah.
away from pedestrians jumping out of 50th story windows like
I think that's
human
five
bombs. God, this
Yeah.
movie rules.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
And I like also
I
like
don't know.
Jada Pinkett Smith like taking elements of what she learned from the Matrix and applying
Mhm.
that to real life, thus kind of creating another kind of Matrix. You know what I mean? Like
in their new human city.
yeah, with like
Yeah.
the cherries and whatnot, where they
Yeah.
artificially make the food. It's like it's almost a reference to the steak in the first film, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
sure.
like there's definitely commentary there about technology and like, you know, and like how the Matrix is still kind of infused into us despite the fact that they are trying to break away from it. They're still using elements in the Matrix, and who knows, like in the
Yeah.
future will they end up building a whole new Matrix again and kind of fall through those same patterns. Like there's commentary that's still interesting in there, and it's
Yeah.
and at
Oh,
the end of
yeah.
the day, it's not a perfect film. It's like a 3.5.
Yeah,
Like,
it has that robot dolphin.
there it is.
Yeah,
You know,
there you go.
That's it.
Perfect.
I think you know the Matrix as a franchise is a very dicey franchise overall, because I don't think you would ever see that franchise ranked up against other franchises as being one of the best, because
Yeah,
I think
no, not-
people-
not
Yeah.
from most people, no.
yeah, because I think you would look at it for the most part and be like, this has a lot of flaws that I can't like you can overlook like several flaws in Return of the Jedi, but when you look at Revolutions, it's like,
Yeah.
oh boy,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but
Yeah,
I
I think there's a very strong chance that I'll like this one more with time. And I did find out about how Lana said that the main reason she agreed to do this at this time was because of the passing of her parents. And I really really love how I really get the feeling that she does have just such a genuine, tangible relationship with these characters. Even if it's not like saying anything about her relationship to them, just the way she writes their dialogue and obviously directs Carrie Ann and Neo. Like, even though I don't like their performances, I do love the idea of these characters and what the writing for them represents, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think with time, I certainly hope with time that I'll like it more. I mean, so Justin didn't grow up with it. Matt, did you grow up with it?
Oh yeah, I mean
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I grew up with it. Like
Did
we.
you wear a trench coat and shades to school? That's the question.
No.
Yes. I actually went as Agent Smith for Halloween one year, so there you go. That
But-
There
tells
you
you what
go.
you need to know.
Obviously, like we saw. I mean, we would watch the first one in my house. We saw the second and third
Mhm.
one in the theater when they came out.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with it. Like it
Okay.
was a part of my life growing up. I've maybe only seen the first one. I'd say maybe 5 times over the course of my life, but
Cool.
yeah, it certainly was a thing that existed in my childhood.
Okay.
It's a piece of media that's meta content. It's
Mhm.
one of the better ones for sure. I don't think it's not perfectly executed, but I think for a piece of film or a piece of content that's out right now, it seems like the most appropriate to kind of deal with that kind of meta
Mhm.
commentary right now. So
Well, and
Yeah.
there's also the fact
definitely.
that it fucking rips.
there you go.
Well,
The
also
Ripper.
we do need to shout out all of the body horror scenes outside the Matrix. Just the best it's ever been. They're so just. I love Neo getting out of the pod and all the
It's like,
red and
Oh,
blue
yeah.
lights, and it's
Yeah.
just so fucking terrifying. It's
Yeah.
great. I love those
Um,
parts.
It does have a lot of good body horror
Yeah.
in the franchise.
It
Yeah.
does. I just want to share. I don't have any more thoughts. I really think you should rewatch it. I really think
Yeah.
it'll
I will. I
rewatch.
will.
The Matrix rewatch.
So we went to see it. We went to see it. I think opening night, maybe the night after opening night,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was me, my partner, and my buddy Marcus, and we were there, and the theater was packed full,
Oh, okay.
and we watched the whole movie. And I'm so engaged that I'm like, I don't even know how everybody else is reacting because
Mm,
I'm like so fucking locked into this thing.
okay.
And then it ends and the credits roll. The credits start to roll, like the first name pops up.
Mm.
And the guy behind me, who's clearly on like living on a Spider Man high, started trying to start a clap.
Oh no.
And nobody else clapped. So it's just him like,
Oh no.
Read the room, buddy. Read the room.
but I was like, honestly, I almost joined in with that clap. That thing fucks.
Yeah,
But
you should've.
like nobody.
Isn't that kind of like the perfect meta commentary on like bastardizing franchises though? Is that, I clapped because I recognize that and just like one person just claps.
It was so funny. It was one person clapping and like immediately they maybe clapped 4 times. Like they were like,
Jesus
Got it.
Christ.
it was so fucking funny.
I
Whereas
love that for
obviously,
little
like,
movies. Whenever little movies get claps like that, I'm just like, oh, bless them.
yeah, whereas obviously like Spider-Man was like a fucking cacophony to the
Yeah,
extent
people are
where to the extent where it kind of took me out of the movie where I was like, guys, we don't have to cheer for everything. We don't got to cheer for all. You're cheering for Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman right now? Guys,
I'm cheering for Ned's mom.
I'm like, guys,
Mm-hmm.
don't come at me like you're a fucking Spider-Man 3 fan when Thomas Hayden Church's fucking Sandman comes in. I am a Spider-Man 3 fan. I've lived in this shit. I've been in this fucking trench since like '08. You come in, you want to clap for Sandman just because you think it's fun? Fuck you.
Matt's pissed.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your fucking 2-star review of Spider-Man 3. I know.
Hey, it's a 2.5-star film.
That's a fucking bop. I don't know. I don't know what I gave Spider-Man 3. I can't speak to that. Hold on.
All right, friends. Well, I'm starving, so I'm gonna go fix that. I think.
All right.
All right.
But yeah, this was very, very enjoyable. I know the last 2 years we've been like, let's do this like once or twice throughout the year, and we don't. But you know, maybe this time we will. Just like
Maybe this time will be
once a
different.
season, 4 times a year, I think would be a nice,
Listen,
nice.
when Mario
pattern.
comes out,
Yeah,
we're doing a
yeah.
special. We're doing a
Okay.
special.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that
That
much right
sounds-
now.
that sounds beautiful.
Or Jurassic World
Oh, God.
trilogy retrospective this summer. I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
actually excited for the new Jurassic World. Who
I
knows?
think it'll be a good time. I mean, it's slocky at this point, but
Well,
I'm
yeah,
here for it.
And think about it this way: it'll be pretty hard for it to be worse than the last one. I would say. Like that's a
liked
really
the
low
last
bar.
one. I
Last
like
one's
the last
okay.
one.
Last one's fine. I
Okay.
I looked at it and was like, I recognize that this is dumb and stupid, but I had a blast. So
I
Okay.
think that the
That's
first, I would argue that the second one is comparably dumb and stupid to the first one, and gets more points in my book because it feels more like it knows that it's dumb and stupid.
Mhm.
I would say the first one does for sure. Like him riding the motorcycle with the raptors, like
I mean, that just rules. That's fucking awesome.
alright. We'll
All
get
right.
it again
I'm out of
soon.
here. Great
Yeah,
work,
let's
guys.
hey, let's see what happens. Let's say it. Let's do this a few times this year. Let's fucking get wild.
I'm
And
here for it.
I'll talk to you guys in January.
Okay, very cool.
Well, much loving, guys.
All right.
Later.
All right, peace
Bye.
out, Boy Scout.